Magnezone and Weezing are some of the strongest non-EX Pokemon we have access to, so let's add them to a deck together. This deck is really good at using Weezing to stall out games, and then bringing Magnezone or Darkrai in to finish the game off later on. Sadly, I could only find space for one Koga in the deck because I rate Sabrina and Cyrus too highly, but if you wanted, you could potentially remove Iono for a second Koga, but I do feel like Iono really helps with consistency on the deck. As of recording, the current ranked season is on hold, but I'm curious to learn people's thoughts on it. Did you enjoy the first season of Ranked? Are there any changes you would make to make it better? Let me know in the comments. Now on to the gameplay. I'm going first against a Steel deck. I would assume it's most likely Skarmory Magnezone, but I'm actually seeing a lot of Dialga decks on in the normal matches right now, since Ranked's finished. So this could be either Dialga Arceus, it could be Dialga Gold and Go, which I've seen a couple of, or it could be something completely different. I'm just going to jam all my Pokemon on the board. So I can consider potentially retreating and applying poison next turn if I hit Weezing. Or I could consider just evolving in the front spot, threatening attacks onto Dialga. If I do hit Weezing, does that change anything for me? Do I want to retreat right now and apply poison? I think I do, you know. I think it's important that you play a deck like this slowly. And I do have Koga in hand. I'm going to retreat. Could potentially Iono. But I'm going to hold the Iono for now, I think. It's actually a tough choice because I need better cards in hand. Like, I need to find Magnezone, I need to find Professor's Research, Pokeball, Darkrai, stuff like that. So I'm thinking about if I want to use Iono or not. Seems like my opponent doesn't have Professor's Research, so I'm going to just hold it for now. I need to generate my energy. I almost forgot about that because I was yapping too much. Yep. I've noticed that I started making a lot more mistakes once I became a YouTuber, because when you're talking so much in front of camera, it kind of makes you like lose focus. So I definitely find myself making some silly misplays at times. I need to try and minimize those. Let's see. He's poisoned, he's taking damage each turn. He doesn't have another basic. What is his hand? I'm really glad I didn't Iono last turn because it seems like his hand is really bad. I'm just going to push 30 damage. Versing Joe. I don't know why I said that. Not relevant at all, but I just thought it was funny. So he's pushing another 30. So now I need to consider if I want to use Koga or not. If I draw Magnezone, I will definitely use Koga. If I don't, it's looking tricky. I could potentially use Koga, send in Magneton and push 60, which would put him down to 20. Then he would fall to 10. And if he doesn't have any healing, he would die. But what is his hand right now if he doesn't have Research? Any basics, no Pokeballs, no, like, he must have some sort of healing in hand, right? He has 7 cards and he's still yet to play a single card. That's crazy to me. But I still need to take it seriously though, because I could still lose from this position. I don't really want to lose my Weezing, but I also don't want to lose my Magneton. I think I've made the decision that I'm not going to Koga, and I'm just going to take the kill next turn with my Magneton. And if I don't hit Magnezone, I'm going to use Iono to try and draw it. So he's finally playing more Pokemon. I genuinely wonder what his hand was that he didn't play a single card up to this point. But he has to push 100 if he wants to kill. But he also kind of wants to build up the back Dialga, so yeah, so he's playing it patient. Now I can retreat and take the kill with Magneton. What if I use Sabrina here? This guy's already in range of both my guys. I could even use Sabrina. Or do I take the guaranteed kill? The only thing that would screw me would be Mars, right? Would get rid of my Cyrus. This is actually a really tricky turn. My options are just attack and let my Weezing die. But then I don't even get the kill on Dialga, it would only fall to 10. But I can't attack with Magneton if I don't. I'm just going to use Koga. I'm just going to take the kill with Magneton. I guess I'll use the Magneton that has less electric energy on it. And jam both of these guys down. Let me just double check my Magnetons. Okay, so I've generated both energy. Now he's going to come in and do 100 and kill my Magneton. If he plays like a weak basic, I will always have the threat of Sabrina coming down. So I feel like from his point of view, he can't play any weak basics. It just depends on if he's running a Golden Go deck or an Arceus deck. So he does have his second research. I still have 8 cards in the deck, so it's going to be hard for me to find. I've got 1 in 4 chance of finding Magnezone off the top. He even has Giant's Cape. I think I'm just going to send in Coffin and start whittling away. Probably the best choice. Has he used any healing? So he's used 1 potion. I could potentially hold Darkrai in hand, or I could play it on the board. Reasons for holding in hand would be increased chances of finding Magnezone when I eventually Iono later on. Reasons for playing would be plays around Mars a little bit, and also gives me a chance to do 20 ping damage in later turns, so I'm going to play him on the board. I have a couple of turns before I need my Magnezone anyway. He would need Giovanni right now to be able to kill my Weezing. Have I generated electric? Yes, I have. He's falling to 140. He has no way of ever one-shotting Magnezone. I feel pretty comfortable right now. So he has Sabrina, so I have to send something to its death. That's actually pretty tough. I guess I send in Darkrai. No, I can't send in Darkrai because then I'm weak to Cyrus later on. Wow, so that Sabrina potentially wins in this game. Let me just think. I basically have to send in Coffin, right? So I basically need to find Magnezone next turn. But that was a reason why holding Darkrai in hand would have been a better play. But I need to send in Magneton now. Yeah, I need to send in Magneton. Let's see what happens. So I need to basically pray that I'm drawing Magnezone. Is Research better or is Iono better? Let's see. So if I use Research, I've got 1 in 3, then 2 in 5. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. If I use Iono, I'm shuffling 3 cards, so that's 9 cards in the deck. And then I'm drawing 3 back. It's actually really close. I think Iono is better odds here. Let me know in the comments if you disagree and you think Research is better, but I'm going to use Iono. I do hit the Magnezone, thankfully. And that's GG. I get to put him to 10 and then the poison finishes him off. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how I played that game. It ended up being really close even though he had a really slow start. But the main decision was Professor's Research or Iono at the end, so let me know if you think I did the wrong decision at the end there. GG though. I'm going first against a Dark deck. I'm assuming Darkrai Giratina. Okay, so it's a Coughing deck similar to what I'm playing. This should be a pretty fun matchup. I have the Weezing already coming down next turn. But going first is probably an advantage here. I'm actually going to hold the Magnemite in hand, I think. Just to play around Sabrina. Then Mars really screws me. So it just comes down to do I think he's running Mars or Sabrina. I think Sabrina would screw me more than Mars, so that's why I'm holding it in hand. I think it's less likely that he's running Mars instead of Sabrina as well. He has a pretty good hand as well. So he's playing Aldian Clodsire plus Weezing. So he's gone full poison line. I actually got punished for not playing Magnemite last turn, but it's fine. I mean, I say punished, but I don't think it really matters. I miss out on one energy generation, but it'll be completely fine. We're pushing 40 now. So if he doesn't evolve, he's already losing his first Coughing. Then we're coming down with Magneton next turn into Magnezone. So I definitely have a lot of aggression going for me right now. The only thing is, Aldian Clodsire is quite a tanky EX Pokemon. So it's going to be hard for me to get through that guy. So he's actually letting his Coughing die. No, he just has everything. He just has everything? Is that crazy, guys? Double Weezing Clodsire on turn 2. He just has everything. Now if I kill this, my Weezing's always going to get revenge killed by the Clodsire. This guy does 60 damage, plus an extra 60 if the Pokemon's poisoned. Let's see. But do I ever Koga here? Why is my Weezing on so much? Oh, because he got an extra 20 damage from his Coughing last turn. I was wondering why my Weezing was so much lower than his. So let's see. Does Koga do anything here? I think Koga actively screws me. But I'm dead. I'm literally dead next turn. That's crazy that I lose so quickly in this game. Guess I'm just praying for a miracle. He evolved, so he lost the poison, so I need to reapply the poison. It's falling to 30. If he stays in the center, he's falling to 20. But if I top deck Darkrai, I can potentially ping him away. Yeah, I need Darkrai top deck, that's what I need. Assuming he doesn't use Koga right now. Darkrai top deck can bring me back into the game. Because he's falling to 20 HP. And then if he sends in Weezing, I can one-shot that, and he's never applying poison. So it's going to take him a while to be able to kill the Magneton. I can't believe he thought so long on playing... Maybe he has Sabrina in hand? I think that tells me he has Sabrina in hand, or maybe Koga. Because you don't think about playing Professor's Research for so long unless you have a different option, right? So Koga or Sabrina potentially in hand is what that tells me. I'm basically praying for Darkrai top deck. Okay, this could be Darkrai. Wow, I'm actually still in the game. That's crazy. I'm going to do the kill first and then show the Magneton after. The Magnezone after, because he might think I don't have it and he might try and be a bit greedy by putting Weezing in the front spot. Let's see what he goes for. So if he puts Wooper, I get the one-shot. Then he'd have to come Weezing and I'd one-shot him anyway unless he runs Giant's Cape. So the game completely swung off me drawing Darkrai there. That's definitely brought me back into the game massively. Now we're finishing off the second Weezing. Sabrina wins me the game at any point unless he has second Aldian Clodsire. He can only push 60 damage here, so it's going to take him an absolute eternity to get through this 140. Oh, I think I win, and he does concede. So my Weezing deck was just better. Or maybe I was just luckier. Let me know in the comments. Really fun game though. GG. So I'm going second into a fighting matchup. I'm forced to start Darkrai, which is not ideal at all because... I mean, there's a reason you only run one copy in the deck. You really want to start with Coughing ideally. The only plus side I've got right now is that I'm going second, so I can start bullying the Sudowoodo. I do have Leaf in hand as well, so I could potentially retreat. He's got the full setup, but he doesn't have a fossil. I feel like I'd be a lot more scared if I saw a fossil right now, but I don't have to worry about that. So he has no research. What is this one card? It could be Lucario, it could be Cyrus, Sabrina, could be Cranidos, could be Rampardos. I think I want to maximize my basic Pokemon, so I am going to research first, then Pokeball second. The question is, do I want to allow him to push 50 damage onto my Darkrai, or do I want to Leaf back to Magnemite? Then he'd be pushing 30 anyway, setting up a 2-hit, which I don't really want either. So I have to keep my Darkrai in the front spot for now. Yeah, I'm mainly targeting slower decks with this build, so I don't feel like... I feel like this is a really hard matchup. Quite an aggressive fighting matchup. So it's going to be hard to win this one. The question is, do I want to research or do I want to Iono right now? I think Iono is better here because it sees me more cards. And I really need to find Magneton or Coughing ASAP. So I'm going to Iono. Thing is, I am potentially helping him out as well, which is something you have to consider because he didn't have Lucario or Research in hand, so I'm potentially giving him a better hand here. But I do manage to pick up the Magneton. I think the game was going really badly for me, so I had to take the risk, right? I had to risk my hand and risk giving him a better hand because I didn't have Magneton. Now that I have Magneton, I definitely have some hope in the game. I think I'm just going to play one Coughing. I don't think it makes sense to play them both down right now. Because you have to remember my opponent could potentially use... I could retreat into Coughing right now. Does that make any sense to do? I think I actually like retreating into Coughing right now because he's only pushing 20. It's not super effective like it is to... Actually, I changed my mind. I am going to use Coughing because of Sabrina. I don't want to allow him getting any more damage onto either of these Magneton or Darkrai. So I'm putting the Coughing down. So that if he Sabrina's... Okay, so he has the Cyrus, so that really screws me. I'm still happy with my play in this game though. I think I played it as well as I could. But now my Darkrai is pretty much dead unless I top deck Leaf. Okay. Does Sabrina do anything here? I don't think Sabrina does anything. I'm getting the Weezing down now because Iono is a potential card that he could have. I think it's still important that I put 20 damage on this Sudowoodo, putting him to 40, so that way my Weezing can finish him off next turn. That's why I'm putting, even though it looks like my Darkrai is dying, I do think it's important to get the extra 20 damage right now. Yeah, Sabrina doesn't make sense because he has the second Sudowoodo down. I don't really like that he put the Sudowoodo on the board because now he doesn't have space for his fossil ever. I guess you could argue he didn't have fossil in hand, so he was just saying, screw it, I'm going to win with these guys. He's pushing 40 starting next turn onto my Weezing. This is definitely a winnable game. You have to remember, I have Koga in the deck, so I can really mess with him. I'm doing this. The question is, do I want to put Magnezone now? And I think the answer is yes, because I'm never going to need more than 3 attacks in this game. And I'm already taking one Pokemon down right now. And I don't want to risk him using Iono and shuffling it away. Now the Pseudo dies. He can push 60 with Lucario. Thing is, I can never retreat, so I basically need to... Wait, he's going with that guy? This guy pushes only 40. I really don't like that. I think he should have gone with Lucario. Now I just need to draw... Wait, he has Hitmonlee? That is crazy. Wouldn't a better play have been to send in Lucario, then retreat and use 30 damage on the Magnezone with the Hitmonlee? I guess he's used his Cyrus already, hasn't he? So yeah, that's why he can't do that. Wait, so this did 60 damage. Oh, because I'm weak to fighting. Wait, why did I not consider that? Wait, so all my Pokemon are weak to fighting. That's crazy. Yeah, I do lose right now, don't I? If I top decked either Leaf or Ogre, I think I win this game, but sadly I don't. I have to concede. It was still a really good game though. It was quite a close game. I had fun as well. I'm going first against a Dark deck, most likely Darkrai Giratina. You'd much prefer the Coughing start in this deck. But if you're stuck between Magnemite and Darkrai, I am going to choose Magnemite because it's a 1-prizer and I don't want to get any damage onto this 2-prizer early. Especially since I'm only running one Darkrai. I am worried about Mars, so I'm just thinking about if I want to play the Darkrai on the board or not. I think if I get hit by Sabrina, it's potentially game losing. Whereas if I get hit by Mars, it's still winnable, so I'm opting to play around Sabrina here. But it's possible he has neither, so that's what I'm hoping for. So I run one Leaf in the deck, right? Hopefully he's playing like an interesting deck and he's not just playing Darkrai. So he is just playing Darkrai Giratina even after rank's finished in normal matches. Okay, now he makes it interesting. Thank God. So I'm going to assume he's only running one Giratina. Because otherwise, that's a lot of Pokemon to fit in the deck. I'm hoping to pick up Magneton here. I've got a couple of draws, so hopefully... So I do find Magneton on the first top deck. So Sabrina doesn't make sense here, so I'm going to draw two. It's important to think about if... Sometimes Professor's Research isn't the correct play, so it's always important to consider your players. I mean, I have a really good start here. Double Research and one Pokeball is pretty good. I think this matchup comes down to who kills the opposing Pokemon first. We'll see what happens. I'm just trying to think if I want to play double Coughing or just whole, or just one. I'm going to jam them all actually because Mars is really scary here and I don't think I'm building to a second Magnezone anytime soon. So just to play around any healing that he potentially has in hand, I am placing the energy on Magneton now, and that way I can do 20 next turn to potentially play around any healing. It doesn't really matter, does it, now that I think about it? I can potentially push 60 damage. No, it's probably important that I put him to 10 HP, and that way I can finish him off with a ping and start attacking the back Pokemon. He's going to get an attack off to kill my Magnezone. It's kind of annoying. That's fine though. Definitely think this game's still winnable. So I'm pushing 110, I'm pushing 130 because I'm pinging with Darkrai. Could even do Sabrina. Does Sabrina make any sense here? No, it doesn't actually. The reason it's important to hold Sabrina is because if I kill this Darkrai and he doesn't have a Weavile, I can Sabrina in the Weavile and completely ignore the Giratina. So that's why it's important to hold the Sabrina. I put him on 10 HP. He needs healing, otherwise I'm pinging that next turn. So let's see what happens. The fact that he's running Weavile, Darkrai, Giratina, so he's even running PCL, that's crazy. I am curious to see what this guy's running because the Sneasel Weavile line is probably taking up 4 spots in his deck, right? Unless he's only running 1 Sneasel, 1 Weavile. But the fact that he's running so much healing is honestly kind of shocking. Like, I'm genuinely surprised. I was not expecting that much healing in his deck list when I saw the cards that he played. But he healed all the way up to 60. Damn. I still think this game's perfectly winnable though, because he's only at 2 energy on his Giratina. He needs to end his turn one more time. I can't actually attack because then I get one shot, which I don't want. So I just have to poison and end my turn. That's fine though, because I can always Koga Weezing when he's on 10 HP back to hand. Assuming I don't get hit by Mars. He's on 30. If he doesn't retreat, he's falling to 20, which my ping can always finish off. If he'd saved his PCL, well, he would have been dead, but PCL, you have to remember that PCL does remove status conditions, like poison. But he has second Giratina. The dude has a second PCL, that's absolutely crazy. I don't think this deck is like... I don't think this deck is good because it feels like a mismatch of identities. I feel like Weavile Sneasel is like an aggressive line, whereas I feel like all this healing is like a control-y line, so I don't feel like... That's my reasoning for why I don't think this deck makes too much sense. But if I lose to it, then who am I to say? The play is definitely to Koga here. I'll just apply the poison first because I might not put Coughing into the center. Just trying to think. I could finish him off with Darkrai here. Does that make any sense to do, or do I just want to play it slow and make him go through 2-1 prizes? Let's see. He's going to fall to 50. He's going to fall to 30. Do I care if he gets one more attack off? Not really, no. I need to preserve the health on my Darkrai for as long as possible, in my opinion. I'm just going to wait one turn. Let me know if you would have brought Darkrai in for the kill there, but I don't think it's the correct play. I think it's important that you wait one more turn. I am getting second thoughts now that I've done it, but what's done is done. I can't really go back on it. I think I am happy with that play. Because if I'd killed, I would have taken 20 damage onto my Darkrai, which means it would always be one-shottable by Giratina. But I do feel like the longer the game goes on, the worse it becomes for me, so maybe I was supposed to just take the kill there and then. Let me know in the comments what you think. Yeah, I'm never going to go through this Giratina, I don't think. I think I'm always going to... Sabrina. Then I get screwed by Leaf. I do run one Cyrus, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, I do run one Cyrus. So if I can Sabrina and get some chip damage onto this Giratina, I can always Cyrus him back in. But let's see. I also have second Magnezone coming up, actually. The game's been dragged on so long that maybe it does benefit me keeping the game going longer. If I ping, this dies, and then I can apply poison to any of his Pokemon. Seems pretty strong. He can't kill this either. If he comes in with Sneasel, that would be a terrible, terrible misplay in my opinion. I think he's in a really hard spot. So I could either Sabrina right now, or I can just apply poison. He has to end his turn one more time, so he's going to fall to 160, then he'll fall to 150, 130. That's before he's ever attacking. I think I don't need Sabrina. I think I can literally just bully this Giratina down. Yeah, I don't think I need Sabrina. Because if he doesn't retreat right now, he's taking so much damage. And he still has to kill one more Pokemon. I'm actually really happy that my deck has destroyed this Darkrai Giratina player, even though he is kind of running weird Pokemon in it. He must only be running one Sneasel, one Weavile, which makes no sense to me. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't make any sense. The whole strength of Weavile is how aggressive he is and how you can get attacking really early. I don't really think it makes sense to run Darkrai, Giratina and Weavile in the same deck. Like, two different philosophies in the same deck, aggro and control. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. He's used all potions, he's used all PCLs. Still potentially has one Giant Cape left, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see. I definitely want to push the super effective damage here. I'm just trying to think if I need to evolve my Magnezone now. I'm pushing 50 plus an extra 10. He's falling to 100, so I can evolve this right now to play around Mars. And I've really managed to outmaneuver this guy. This game has been so long though. Fun though. I am a big fan of this Magnezone Weezing deck. It feels like you can drag games on for so long and just out-control people. Sadly, I don't see many people playing it, so I guess it's not as good as I think it is. But he places a cape on the Weavile. He probably has to retreat right and take the kill with the Weavile. Let's see what he goes for. Unless he has Giovanni, he's never one-shotting my Magnezone with the 130 from Giratina. And surely he can't fit Giovanni into this deck. Maybe this deck could do with one Giant's Cape. Because the game always seems to go to really late in the game. But one Giant Cape would be enough to always draw it towards the end of the game if needed. And I feel like I'd feel really secure with a Giant's Cape right now. So Cyrus top deck wins me the game instantly. That would be 1 in 2. Otherwise I could Sabrina and then he needs Leaf. I guess I send in Magnezone. Weezing. I just realised he doesn't even have 3 Psychic Energy on his Giratina. This game's so over that I'm surprised he hasn't conceded. I'm just going to Sabrina, make him bring in Giratina. And my final card is guaranteed to be Cyrus anyway, so as long as I survive this turn, I win. Unless he uses Mars to shuffle it all away again. But I'm definitely happy with using Sabrina here. I'm just trying to get this game over with now, because it feels like it's over and he's just dragging it on. It has been a really long, fun game. So he's running 2 Potion, 2 PCL, 2 Giant Cape, but only 1 Rocky Helmet. He's probably got Darkrai in hand. I would assume he's running 2 Darkrai. He's even running Team Rocket Grunt. This hits 1 head, I'd probably lose. Oh my god. This is crazy. I've actually just lost right at the end to Team Rocket Grunt. I mean, I have Leaf still, I guess. Wait, so yeah, I win because he can't retreat and I have Leaf. So yeah, I do actually still win. It threw a bit of tension into the game though. I really like Team Rocket Grunt, it's a funny card. I haven't actually been able to pick up the card art of it. I'm kind of sad about that. Yeah, I can just retreat and finish off the game now. He's basically banking on me not having Leaf, and now that I've shown it, it's game over. And that game lasted like 14 minutes. What a banger. Probably didn't need to attach the energy there. It's fine though, he'll survive. GG.